You've tried every program in the book. Maybe you hired a youth pastor, launched a ministry for young families, or finally put a coffee bar in the foyer. But the pews look exactly the same as they did 5 years ago. The problem probably isn't your theology, and it's definitely not a lack of effort. Young families aren't avoiding your church because of what you believe, they're avoiding friction, reacting to small fixable moments that tell them this place wasn't built with their lives in mind. I've got 8 changes for you, and most of them free, none requiring a building renovation or a budget meeting. Stay with me through number 4 and number 7 because those are the two most pastors never think to address. Change number 1 is to fix your nursery check in system. Before a young parent ever sits down for your sermon, they've already run a security audit on your building. They want to know their kids are safe. A paper sign in sheet on a folding table with no one standing near it fails that audit immediately. What it says is nobody thought very hard about this process. A numbered tag system, one trained volunteer at the door, and a clean room with working toys will shift the whole atmosphere. Also, make sure parents know that background checks are conducted on every nursery worker and anyone working with children because in today's world, that's not something you can leave to chance. Then, once the parents are seated, keep that trust going. Most church presentation software has a built in nursery alert feature where a thin banner slides across the top or the bottom of the screen with a number, so parents know their child needs them without interrupting the room. Parents will hear the sermon when they're not spending the whole service wondering if their 2 year old is okay. Once a family gets past the nursery, they need to find the bathroom without asking a stranger for directions. That's change number 2. Add clear modern signage inside your building. Printed arrows or hand drawn arrows taped on the wall don't count, but a $40 sign from Amazon with an arrow, I believe, certainly does. When first time visitors can navigate your building without flagging someone down, the message they receive is that someone thought about their arrival before they showed up. That feeling of being expected is exactly what you're after. Change number 3 might feel counterintuitive to your longtime members, but you need to stop acknowledging visitors publicly from the stage. That's important. Your members love it, but a 28-year-old walking in for the first time doesn't want to be in the spotlight in a room full of strangers. They came to evaluate quietly and on their own terms. Use a connection card in the bulletin or the seat back in front or a QR code on the screen that lets them tell you who they are when they're ready. You still get the information you need, and they get to stay anonymous until they choose to step out. That's just the culture we live in today. Change number 4 is the one that surprises pastors most. Shorten your announcement block. Young families are managing a tight internal clock on Sunday mornings, involving nap schedules, feeding windows, and toddlers who've been cheerful for exactly 45 minutes. When those parents sit down and the first 12 minutes are announcements about the fall potluck and the parking lot, the message they hear is organizational chaos. Cap announcements at 3 minutes and move everything else to the bulletin or a midweek email. That gets cut, or what gets cut rather, isn't the community, it's just the noise around it. Those first 4 changes are about removing friction. The next 4 are about adding something. And these next 4 things are all about the small signals that tell a young family your church sees them. Change number 5 is to put someone at the door whose only job is to watch for young families. Not necessarily a greeter, because every church already has those people, handing out bulletins and moving on. You need a designated spotter, one volunteer who notices the stroller coming through the door, or the parent with a diaper bag and a toddler pulling toward the exit. That person walks them to the nursery, answers their questions before they have to ask, and stays until the whole family feels settled. It doesn't cost anything except intention, but I believe it completely changes the atmosphere of that first visit. Change number 6 might feel like I'm messing with your theology, but don't worry, I'm not. Adjust your service length with young families in mind. 90 minutes is a long time when you've got a child in the nursery you visited for the first time 20 minutes ago and you're still feeling uneasy. Most churches can hit a 65 to 70-minute window while keeping a full uncut sermon. This, I believe, is a timing problem, not a doctrine problem. Trim the transitions, tighten the musical interludes, and cut the second offering explanation. The sermon stays exactly as it is, but everything else gets a serious edit. Number 7 is the one most pastors overlook completely. Create one physical space in your auditorium that signals kids are welcome. Not a full renovation or a new children's wing, although that might be nice. Just a small table in the back corner with quiet activities or a basket of soft toys near a row of seats. Young parents scan a room before they relax because they're looking for permission to exist without being a disruption. One intentional corner gives them that answer. Change number 8 is to follow up within 24 hours personally, not with a form letter. A text from the pastor or a handwritten note that arrives within one day is rare enough that people will remember it. Now, we go one step further. We include a Sonic gift card in the handwritten thank you note. And today, at the price of gas, maybe a gift card to a gas station. Young families are usually looking at 3 or 4 churches at the same time. Speed and warmth are the two things that separate a first visit from a second one, and that second visit is what leads to membership conversation. None of these require a budget meeting or a new hire. Here's how to roll them out without overwhelming your team. Week 1, focus on the nursery and your signage. Get a numbered tag system in place. Confirm your background check policy is documented and visible, and order the signage your building's missing. These 2 changes are the ones you can make before next Sunday with a few phone calls and an Amazon order. Week 2, tackle your service flow and your announcement block. Map out your Sunday morning sequence, find where the time's going, and start cutting. Cap announcements at 3 minutes and move the rest to the bulletin. You don't need a team meeting for this one, just a decision. Week 3, build your visitor culture. Brief one volunteer to be your designated spotter for young families and make the call to stop spotlighting visitors from the stage, stop calling them out, and replace the public announcement with a connection card or a QR code. Talk to your regulars before you make the switch so it doesn't catch anyone off guard. Week 4, set up your kid-friendly corner and fix your follow-up process. Find the right spot in your auditorium, put a small table there, and stock it. Then write out a simple follow-up text template so the responses go out within 24 hours or maybe even before Sunday's over, and make it on every first visit. At that pace, all 8 are in place by Sunday of week 4. Please drop a comment telling me which barrier you're tackling first and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. God bless. Have a great day.